All right, I am northbound on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm starting back where I left off the last time. I was on my continuation from Springer here at Reed's Gap on the Blue Ridge Parkway in Virginia, just after Three Ridges section there. So back on the trail now. I've got a ride with Kevin excuse me, Kevin and Elvis, same folks that shuttled me before. Great people. Always love having a dog in the car. Anyway, you know me, I love dogs. And yeah, so we're on trail and I'll let you see it. So this is pretty much what looks like coming out of Three Ridges, the Reed Gap. So somebody's been at least cut this once. I've got a little bit of an elevation gain to start with, but it looks like for this trip it's not going to be too terrible as far as elevation gains and ups and downs. Of course, I say that, and then next thing I know, you'll see me griping and complaining. But anyway, this is day one of the trip, and we're getting on here at about 3:12, and let me reset my watch. I got to the first overlook. There the car turnout. I saw that across the parking lot. You see that reflector? It's got a little white blaze on it, although it's not very big. And then looks like there's another white blaze down there. So anyway, I started heading over there. Didn't even see that white blaze or that one across the street. So that's the AT. I was already heading that direction. So just another example of how even somebody with a modicum of experience can screw up. Maybe I'm just gonna palm it off on the excitement of being on the trail, since I haven't been on it in, really, I think since PA. I was thinking back, you know, that was in, I think, August of last year. And then, as y'all know, if you watch my channel, my mom had a traumatic brain injury, and we've been pretty much dealing with that ever since. This is the 1st of May. Matter of fact, this is May 1st. And we've been dealing with that, and she was diagnosed with mild dementia and got tested for Alzheimer's. Her p-tau was a 0.27, and the threshold for the infusion treatments is 0.28. So they said she's negative for Alzheimer's. I guess we'll have to test that again next year, determine if it goes up and she's eligible for the infusion treatments, or if they change the threshold. But you hate to miss it by a 1/10, right? Or I'm sorry, 100th. And I don't know if that's like missing something by a mile or missing something by an inch. But anyhow, so that's kind of why I hadn't been on trail in a while. And then of course, January 1 of this year, after Helene came through, and I came back from helping Baptist men up in Asheville area, help the recovery effort up there. Went and got decided I was just gonna buy me a brand new chainsaw, since I burned mine up working up there. I mean, literally, you know, it's got so hot. There was a bolt that was threaded into the plastic, and the bolt was attached to a bracket that was attached to the muffler. So the muffler heats up the bracket, which heats up the bolt, which is threaded into plastic. Of course, the plastic melts. So now the muffler doesn't hold itself on, or the teeth that are on the end jam it into the log and use it for leverage. So had to get a new chainsaw. Was working with it and fell out of 10 feet out of a tree, and it was a new chainsaw, like I said. And so I decided I did not, for whatever reason, I didn't want, I rode the saw down. The saw pulled me over because of its weight, and I landed
you know, I was 10 feet up in the tree, like I said, or the trees were like everybody's, stacked on top of each other vertically. So the one that I stepped on, and I did not have the chainsaw running, thank God, but the one that I stepped on gave way after I got all my weight on it, because I was going to walk out and cut the top out of it. And anyhow, I fell and broke my wrist. And that is the reason for my nice little virtual natural tattoo there on my wrist. So had to have a titanium plate with, I think, 12 screws, although I had to pay for 13 because he stripped one, put it in. The screws are about $150 a piece, and the plate was $350. The whole shooting match was, I don't know, 60 grand north of there. Time all the doctors from everybody and their mama sends in. You know how that goes. You got your radiologist, your radiology department, emergency room doctor, emergency department, imaging department, so on and so forth. So I mean, I got like 8 different bills, and I went to one place and had it all done in one place. But anyway, thank God I had insurance. And on January 1, I met my deductible, copay, and deductible for the year. So now's the time to, if I get a little sniffle, I'm going to the doctor. Nah, I don't do that, but I do need to make sure that I'm not holding back because of the expense like I normally do, since I've already met everything. So anyway, that's you got to see a little bit of the trail while I was on my soapbox. But this is we have not got in the park yet, so we are outside Shenandoah National Park. Won't get there tonight. We'll get there tomorrow. Not sure where I'm going tonight. There's a campsite at 10 miles in, so I didn't get started till 3:30ish. Fortunately, sun don't set till 8:30. I mean, 9 o'clock. It's still light enough that I could be setting up camp. But I haven't had lunch. Left this morning at 8ish, and it's 5.5-hour drive up here. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it 10 or not. I'd like to, because the plan is to do 40. But I had actually planned to meet him at the Black Rock Summit trailhead. But he said that there was parking at Black Rock Gap. And I didn't know if that meant there wasn't parking at the Black Rock Summit trailhead. So I just took the easy route since he was shuttling me and stopped there. So, all right, let me get on, start hiking here and making some time, and I'll get back to you in a bit. All right, neat little rock formation. It's the first official view as far out's concerned. That's all it says is view, but I think you'd have to climb on top of that rock to actually get the view. And looks like it's covered in poison ivy. Speaking of poison ivy, so the poison ivy's out. Hey, right there, son. It's all on the trail, and it's just now coming out. So it's only got to get worse through here throughout the season, throughout the year. And trail maintainers have a hard time keeping up with it. So just beware. I have kind of walked in the spring a little bit. Of course, as soon as I say that, there's no wildflowers along the trail, but there have been a lot of wildflowers. Most of the trees have leaved out. Some of the bigger, broader leaves hadn't fully developed canopy yet, so you can still have some views, but for the most part, which is good because it's in the shade. Now, dumb me thought, hey, go to Virginia, much further north than North Carolina. It's going to be cooler, right? Nah, I don't think so. It was 86 on my car thermometer when I stopped. The AT weather says it's supposed to be in the 70s, but it's made it into the 80s. Now, one good thing is when you get on a side of a hill, kind of like I am here now, you get a little bit of breeze, and of course, I'm rocking the kilt, baby. So, woohoo! I got a little breeze blowing up into the nether regions, which is really nice. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at on the weather. Weather for today is, I'm not expecting rain except for tonight. They're calling for it. It's about 50% chance. Likewise tomorrow. It really kind of gets ugly on Saturday, so it looks like it's going to start in the morning. Sometime I think it said between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. so obviously that's exactly the time I'll be hiking. The one saving grace is probably, this is Thursday, so tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday I should be coming out, so nothing else when I get to the car. I'll be able to change into some dry clothes. Didn't bring a towel for some dumb reason, even though it's going to rain, but anyway, I'll be able to change. I did bring dry clothes. So that's if I'll have to do a 10 today and then 2 15s, which is typically not a big deal, other than I got a really late start today just because of the drive. Hopefully I'll make that 10. If not, I'll have to tack on a few miles each day to get out by Saturday. But you know, if I get on Saturday, even if I've hiked a 20-mile day and I'm only 5 miles from the truck, typically I would beat feet and get on in there. But in this case, you know, I hadn't been out in a while. Of course, it's going to be raining. If it wasn't raining, I'd definitely think about more about spending the night out in it, out in creation. But otherwise, I would probably do that 25 to get to the truck if I got it in me. We'll see. Like I said before, I hadn't hiked since August. This is May. So, all right. It's a lot of this through here is real rocky. You gotta, I mean, I've had my head down most of the time, so you can't, you know, I enjoy it when I can look around. You can hear the birds. Yeah, I like that. And then being able to look around the environment. I mean, with your head down, you don't see wildlife like you might run into if there's Shenandoah's area, particularly the park, is where a lot of people see bears, because there's no hunting bears in the park, no hunting nothing. So bears, deer. I'm right here on the outskirts of it, but I'm sure it probably gets hunted heavily here. They push them into the park, so that's why people see so much of them in the park. There's a view coming up here in a bit. I'll stop there and catch up with you. I did stop at Chubway down in, wow, my mind just, I get tired, it just goes. Can't remember the name of the town. Waynesboro, thank you. So Waynesboro, had to get some gas because I was not going to make it out of the park on what I had. So stopped there, got a couple gallons and a Chubway sandwich for lunch, which I haven't had yet, and supper tonight. And whatever we don't eat, we'll eat in the morning. All right, keep on going. Absolutely gorgeous. Been hiking for about 3 hours and a half. I don't know where I am. Is that right? No, I haven't been hiking that long. I can't remember. Let's see. It's about an hour and a half. Thank you. So, yeah. That's Shenandoah Valley there. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said before, it's a little warm today. That's the great thing about a kilt. If you're by yourself somewhere and you got the time, just ditch the kilt for the time being. Catch some wind across your legs and other parts. And just, yeah, and for you folks out there that are wondering, I do wear underwear under my kilt. It's the boxer brief, no wet type of dry fit type. Anyway, enough of that. This is a overlook here, just called Rock Overlook. First I've come to. Have not seen a lot of people on the trail. Interesting enough, driving here to get started, we saw the 6-pack hikers. And it was not a good place to stop and pull over and chat. And they had just got through with some trail magic anyway, when I passed before. So they were ready to get going, I'm sure. So they want to imposition them. And then passed some other hikers as well. And they were obviously through hikers. I feel like they were more in section hikers, and they were hiking the Skyline Drive rather than the AT. And some people do that. They do that because there's better views on the Skyline Drive and the Blue Ridge Parkway, or more of them than there is on the AT. Now, I've never hiked the AT through here, so I'm going to stick to the AT. If I ever hike this way again, I may very well decide to hike the Skyline Drive route. Or I may be aqua blazed, who knows? Hike your own hike, right? But anyway, awful pretty through there. Let's keep on going down the trail, see if we can get 10 in today. Okie doke.
Alright, these are cedar cliffs. And I suppose they call them that because there's cedar trees growing here. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous view out through there across Shenandoah Valley. So this is really easily accessible from the parking lot there. It's only half mile to the parking lot. So if you're on the Blue Ridge Parkway before you get to the Skyline Drive, you can access this really easy. And the trail goes right by. Kind of a mini Tinker Cliffs. Yeah, that's cool. Have not seen any Jakes out. Jake the Snake, hadn't seen him yet. Hope not to. Ooh, it really opens up here. I'm assuming I'm still on the AT, but wow. Look at that heathen. Panorama. Oh, that's awesome. Alright, well, I got a cruisy section that's relatively flat and unrocky. Do another video. So a 3.7 to the next water source. I'm down about half a liter. This section from here through here, once you pass the cliffs, it's pretty dry. Not a lot of water source. You cross the road, there's a dipper there at Laurel Spring, but after that, there's not a lot. There's nothing through here till I get to this next one. Probably got 2 hours and a half of daylight, so the problem is that next one it's not around a campsite. It's just looks like, and it's an intermittent spring at that. It's not a full teardrop like you see. That's a reliable source. It's a seasonal source. Now, all the reliable sources have been good flow, so I'm hoping this will have some at all. And then there's, like I said, there's no campsite around it, so I'm either going to have to come up with a campsite somehow. I mean, that's like trying to come up with a campsite in, you know, in this. It's just not gonna happen. Because up underneath all that vegetation is rocks. All this stuff right here you see on the trail, it's out there. So, hang on. Oh, excuse me. So, a guy kind of in a little predicament here. We'll just have to see how it goes. I may wind up having to night hike for a little bit. I don't know. But that's not. I had my usual 2 liters of water, and it's just been a dry section through here. So, but I hate carrying another 2 liters on my back, because what is liters? I mean, that's, can't remember how much that weighs. 4 pounds a piece. So another 8 pounds. Ugh, up and down these hills. Okay, speaking of hills. So I have a decent wearable now, decent smartwatch. I had one last year I was hiking, and you know, it was one of those I got off Facebook, or got for Christmas off of Facebook, just because, yeah, I get, you get what you pay for. Didn't want them to spend a whole bunch of money on me, but anyway, it was POS. Told time. Didn't even do that real reliably. I don't know how a digital clock watch gets off, but the biggest thing I got it for was to check my my heart rate, and it did a terrible job of that. I mean, it showed me being at 90, and I knew good and well I was busting a 120 or 140. So my maximum heart rate. So now, let me back up. So now my kids pooled their resources. Funny thing, my son told my daughter, he goes, hey, let's buy Dad a good watch. So it was a pretty expensive watch, and you know, it's a Garmin that does a lot, and you know, syncs to my phone and all that neat stuff, and is very reliable on heart rate. So, oh, I heard something. Oh, squirrel. So he told my daughter, said, look, we got real jobs now. Let's get him a real gift. So they went in together and got me a real watch. And it has really revolutionized a lot of my nutrition that I've been working on, and my change of lifestyle, and trying to eat better, and you know, not so much worried about longevity of life, it's just quality of life. I'd like to have, you know, be 100% balls to the wall, and then just till I'm 70, 80, and then not have dementia, not have cancer, not have all these other junk, liver disease and fatty liver disease and stuff that people get, and I just rather just drop dead, or have a not a protracted period where I am not healthy, let's say. And I'm gonna pick this up here in just a minute. So this is the first post I've seen. I thought they were only in the shanties. They have their marker post with these bands here, these aluminum bands around them. On Back Rocks picnic area. Yeah. Paul Wolf Shelter 8.5, not going to make it. On back parking, I don't know. Alright, so anyway, so they got me the wearables. got me the watch, and probably was a double-edged sword, because now it tells me exactly what my heart rate is. So you're supposed to stay under your maximum heart rate. So the way you figure that is you take 220 minus your age. So 220 for me minus 60 makes me 160. So that means my maximum heart rate should be no more than 160. Now, if I'm wrong about that, one of you MDs or RNs or somebody here correct me. But so I shouldn't be 160. Well, like right now I'm 146, but I'm on a easy section here. But coming up those hills, I'm at 181, and I'm taking my time. So, I recover pretty quickly, but in the midst of it, I'm 20 beats per minute above what my maximum is. And that may be going on for, 15, 20 minutes or so, however long it takes to get to the top of the hill. So, I don't know if that's a problem yet or not. I got to do some research on it, but so far what my research has said, yeah, don't go above your maximum, and I'm doing that. So, and on flat sections, no. On going uphill, yep. And as you know, the AT is probably more uphill than downhill, both ways, right? Okay, let me keep on going. We'll talk about the wearable later.
All right, that's the first rock waller thing.
This used to be a homestead somewhere around here. It's amazing how many times you get in the backcountry and you see these walls. So people would dig up all the rocks so they could have a pasture and a field to grow in and have cattle and stuff in. Hadn't seen a chimney. Don't know if there's one up here. Be nice if one day maybe I'll come up here and explore this. Oh boy, it goes for a long ways. Explore this area and see if I can find that old homestead or do some research. But anyway, it's always neat to come through in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the wilderness, on top of a mountain, which is where I'm at. I guess that's where these people escape to, and to find this in here. And you can tell all this was logged because of the diameter of the trees. There's not any really giant big trees in here, so all this was logged, and probably logged it and then turned it into a homestead field. God, that thing keeps on going. But yeah, those are always neat for me to see. Yeah, look at the view. It's awesome. This would be a good one to watch the sun go down. Certainly not going to be here long enough for that, but yep. Awesome views so far. Well, that's it for day one. I did not do a end of the day video because I was wiped out. So what I wound up doing is I got to the last water source. Wasn't a really great water source, but I was able to get some water in my dirty water bag. But my filter would not flow. So I had whatever stupid thing I had did. I guess I hadn't checked out my gear, and that was kind of the theme of the day or the trip. And I hadn't checked out my gear, and so it wouldn't filter. I tried backwashing it right there at the stream, but man, I was so tired. I just went ahead and had to camel up and drank it right out of the source. It was coming straight out of the source, out of the spring. So, it hadn't been on the ground at any length of time, hardly at all. And so I was fairly okay. It was safe, but I do not ever not drink unfiltered water. So in this case, I had to, and got up the next morning and was able to back flush it and get the water flowing. Of course, I got to camp, and I had to camel up, so not only to drink some there, but 2 liters on both sides, plus 2 liters in my dirty water bags. I was carrying 4 liters So that was another 8-9 pounds that I carried the last couple miles. Got to camp. When I got to camp, it was dark. Got set up, and it was all I could do to get set up, and didn't even eat. Just half put my, didn't do a true bear hang, just put it up in a tree as far as I could reach, which is, might as well just set it on top of my tent. But anyway, that's all I did, and then I just went straight to sleep. So I was too beat to eat, and it's all I could do to get camp set up. So any case, it was still a good day, because any day on the trails is, no matter good, bad, or indifference, better than a great day at the office. So that's what I did, and check out the rest of these videos down here. You'll see the rest of my hike, as well as the hike, all my hikes I've done, all my section hikes. I'm all the way from Springer to right here, plus half of Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Vermont. So go and check those out over here, wherever they're at. And hey, we will catch you on the next one, and the rest of my hike is waiting for you over there. Appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.